Hello, hello, all of my beautiful freaking people. Welcome back to another episode of FML Talk. Y'all, today's fucking episode, I do not even have the words to describe. Cara, Maria, and Paulie from MTV's The Challenge are joining me today to talk about, for lack of better words, their sex life and what it's like to bring outside people into a very private bedroom. I cannot wait for y'all to hear this episode. So sit back, grab maybe a bottle of tequila, maybe the whips and chains and blindfolds. I'll leave it up to you. Welcome to FML Talk.
Oh my God. Wait, how old was the other girl?
19. Can you believe that shit?
Hey, this is Gabrielle Stone.
Good book?
I did not inject your He did what? 48 hours?
What a dick.
Yeah, but have you seen all the photos on her Instagram?
And this is FML Talk.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Y'all know I love a good self-love cocktail and occasionally an actual cocktail. I have always notoriously hated the taste of alcohol and needed it disguised in a good mixology cocktail until I discovered Neft. Because Neft is a premium vodka in its purest form with non-GMO rye, it has a light taste full of character. Not only is Neft one of the best tasting vodkas I've ever had, it also comes in the cutest packaging I have ever seen. Their unbreakable barrel keeps it chilled for up to 6 hours, making it the perfect drink to take just about anywhere. Join me in adding a little actual cocktail into your self-love cocktail with Neft vodka. Cheers! You guys, seriously, when I sat down to do this episode, I didn't really know what the fuck to expect. I connected with Cara Maria after she found Eat Pray FML and read the book, and I had only known Paulie from watching The Challenge. You guys know I'm a reality TV junkie. So I had seen their relationship start and grow on that show. They have been open about the fact that they bring other people into their life sexually while they're in a committed relationship. And they've never really detailed what exactly goes on and the ins and outs of how they handle this and what it looks like for them in a very healthy way. I have to tell you that I was blown away by the maturity and the exquisite respect and communication and the boundaries that they have with each other. I definitely didn't know what to expect from Paulie, and I was really pleasantly surprised with how forthcoming he was and open and really sweet. It's definitely not my thing to invite other people into my personal bedroom, but I dare you to listen to this episode and get to the end and think, maybe I could have sex with Cara and Paulie. I don't know. So I cannot wait for you guys to hear this episode. We are going to jump in right now. Cara, Maria, Paulie, oh my God, welcome to FML Talk. I'm so fucking excited to have you here.
Thanks for having us. I'm excited for the chat.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I've been listening to your podcast on and off secretly. I think what got me hooked on it was your interview with Morgan.
Told me about that.
Told Cara about it. So I'm really excited for this.
Oh my God. First of all, I'm so honored. Was not expecting that. So thank you. And I'm really excited to have you guys here because I know apart from like your challenge fans, there's a lot of questions that you guys get about your relationship and the ins and outs of that. So I was so excited when I reached out to Cara and she's like, yeah, we're game. I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be awesome. So I appreciate you guys being here to be open about all that.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, the mystery is here. So
I love it. I love it.
I don't usually put it out there. I think people don't really know. They think we have like these weird like dungeon sex orgies or
Who's to say we don't?
Who's to say we don't?
We're going to get into it.
I don't have a basement in Montana.
It always seems to work.
It
always seems to work itself into like a conversation. Like we'll be having like random conversations with producers and we'll be like, now we know you guys have like sex swings swinging from your ceilings and everything. I'm just like,
you're like, excuse me.
How did you know?
Whoever confirmed that, hello.
Where are the cameras?
Never been confirmed or denied.
So for people that have been living under a rock and aren't challenge fans like myself, can you kind of take us back and give us a little insight onto how you guys met, how your relationship started, and how you got to being this like happy couple that you are now?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to take
No,
it?
you
No,
take
you
it.
take it. You take it.
Take it.
You take it.
I always take it.
Yeah, but it's not the weekend anymore. So now
I'm dead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You talk about the challenge.
No, I mean it's not the challenge, it's how we met.
On the challenge.
It is true. So let's see, I went on my first season of the challenge, and I was in a relationship. Cara was in whatever she was in. And it was this weird connection. Well, not weird connection, but like as soon as we met, it was just like this instant energy and like kind of connection. And like, we just kind of like really like played off of each other well in terms of like jokes and whatnot.
It was really it was like really, I describe it as it was magnetic, like for real, like magnetic.
Yeah, it really was like this magnetic.
I was really drawn to you.
Connection. And then it gets weird and tricky, like when you enter a house and there's cameras, and now you're at the forum of like public opinion. So like there was still like that magnetism there, but now it's just kind of like that weird thing where it's like, damn, my phone is gone. I can't really act on this. I can't make a phone call to be like, this is how I'm feeling.
Right. I pursued him pretty hard too, which it was embarrassed. I am embarrassed when I look back and look at that, but you
should have been embarrassed. Because like, honestly, if I wasn't in a relationship, it would have just been like, right. It would have been over from the gate. I just remember, she was in an interesting position, like with, the dude that was messing around with her head.
Yeah.
And
coming off of basically when I met him, I had been it was just between a lot of very, 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 I'm not going to go into detail in any type of way, bad relationships that you wouldn't want your friend or somebody you love to be in. Yeah. So my head was messed up for a while with these, and I was coming off and I was just on like I was in a crazy headspace coming off of those, and still kind of being messed up in the head by one of them.
Yeah. And I was just kind of going in there, open with everything. And to me, like the way that I was raised, with my mom and dad, me and my brother, we have a sister, baby sister, just kind of very protective. I remember from an early age, if me and my brother didn't stand up for not just my sister, but like, anybody that was getting picked on, whether it was like a girl or somebody who, was just getting bullied. I was more afraid of like what would happen to me, like from my parents, if they found out that I didn't say anything or didn't do anything. So getting exposed to that environment, I just kind of was like, this is weird. It's almost like high school. Like these people are grown adults, but they still haven't really matured mentally in there. I'm like, the guy that she was messing around with, he still had a girlfriend at home from like 2 seasons prior. And I was just confused that everybody was making a big deal that she was like flirting with me and almost like gaslighting her, from a castmate standpoint.
He was angry about you, but
I have that effect on small guys.
It was just a lot of psychological manipulation happening there. But the thing with him that really stood out to me, not only was I attracted to, Paulie as soon as I met him, it was just like, it wasn't even like, oh my God, he's so hot, I want to bang him. It was like this weird like pull. I mean, yes, you're so hot, I want to bang you. But it was something more than that. I didn't want to get in a relationship. I did not want to be in a relationship. I didn't expect to be in any sort of relationship, but the draw was there. And then when I saw, I'd been on the show with people that, forever, that I thought they were like family. I thought they were like brothers, and they would be protective of me in certain situations. And none of them came through when I was at my worst in this house, except for this man who didn't even know me. And usually when rookies come in, what they do is they listen to exactly what the vets tell them to do while they get picked off. And instead of trying to sit in there and just like play nice and do what he's told, like he was very outspoken. He was very protective. I always felt like whenever I went to him, like I'd be safe, I'd be happy. Like he'd dance with me. He'd always like, he was my source of just like escape and happy, like whenever I was with him. So
Yeah.
I'm really thankful for that. And then obviously we went through it. Like I was in a bad place mentally when he first came into my life, and I got even to lower places mentally, and he was with me through all of it, and we're still here, and this is my person, and nobody knows what we've been through for real.
No, yeah, but it's interesting to see like kind of how things started, like in the beginning of that, where it started off as like me kind of sitting there being like, hey, you guys have done so many seasons, why aren't you saying something? Fine, right. I'll say something. You're fucking soft for not saying anything. You know, and I guess that was the hill I was willing to die on, was like, I'll say whatever the fuck needs to be said. It cost me, you know, spending a lot of time in a redemption house, where I reflected on those moments being like, damn, is this really going to be my intro is just a redemption house hero. And then like towards the end, like when we kind of reconnected, and, you know, we're competing together. Like, I just, I don't know, like she was always a phenomenal competitor. You know, so like when she would kind of be freaking out about things that were going on, I would want to be like, hey, listen, like, you're good. Like, let's just, like, you're going to have fun. It's just fun. It's a game. Like, you know, whether we win or lose, like, it is what it is. You know, and I think the fact that she would always say, like, oh, you know, like, I'm not a cuddler. Like, I'll just, like, you know,
I know,
like, if we ever bang, like, I just want you to leave and everything like that.
I did say those things.
And like, I'm sitting there being like,
I'm
a huge cuddler. Like, I'm a huge cuddler. So I was like sitting there being like, listen, you haven't cuddled with me yet. All right. I've got like that jujitsu background, so I'm gonna wrap you up. I was like, and you're gonna try and push me off. It's not gonna work. Now she's a cuddler.
Oh my God. I was like this, but I was like this the whole time. I was like, come here, go away, come here, but stay there, come here, but stay there. And then when he would like stay there, I'm like, no, wait a minute. I thought we were here. Like I was a whole lot of. You're
like, wait, no, cuddle me. I'm kidding. Yeah, so it was so interesting to watch, because I remember, you know, that season, which was so long ago now, but I remember when people weren't coming forward and speaking up for her, and all of us that, you know, you've been the most badass female on that show since the beginning. So I remember everybody at home was being like, why the fuck is nobody standing up for Cara? Why is nobody like realizing that this chick is fucking like where it's at? And you could see the connection building between the two of you. And I see it now even more so sitting here virtually across from you guys. It's really beautiful and really special.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I almost wish I went in single, because on that first night, like, she was trying to, you know, offer up like other, you know, people to join, like, and sweeten the deal. And
me and
knowing what people know about us now, like, I would have jumped on that in a heartbeat. But, you know,
he goes, no, like, I'm going to make sure I'm going to call, you know, he was dating this girl for like 2 months before I came into the picture. And he's like, I'm going to call her. They lived in different states and everything. He's like, no, I'm going to call her, and I'm going to make sure that I like end this before I do anything with you. I got to make sure I end it with her. And it was we almost got there.
Sweet though. That's really awesome of you. I want to give you props for that. That's like a good man right there.
That was we almost made it.
We almost made it. So
10 weeks, 12 weeks,
10 weeks.
It was a lot of weeks.
Valiant effort.
It was in the 12-week mark. And like, at that point, it was like the hardest thing, because I kept being like, hey, can I have my phone and like make a phone call? And like, for I think 2.5 weeks, we didn't get phone calls. And I was like, this isn't going to be good, because the show was like, it wasn't even done. Like, we were at like this in between part before the final, and it was in the middle of the jungle, and, you know, it was this beautiful like villa style safari themed thing. Like, there's lions and leopards, a lot of animals.
Cara, I mean, there's a lot of lionesses there.
Like, there was a lot of like animalistic.
I was not ready.
You know,
I thought I was ready. I had fantasies. When I tell you, every single night that I was in that challenge house while he was in redemption, I would like, I fantasized about this man. I would lay there in bed. I'm like, I know what I'm going to do when I get him in that hotel room when this is over. And I know how this is going to go. And like, I visualized all these things. I wasn't ready.
I was not prepared.
I got like attacked. I like got attacked by a lion
Paulie, I gotta say, Paulie, like, first of all, this is just my personal preference. I usually like don't go for white guys. You're very unassuming as like for someone like Cara, who I look at and I'm like, she could fucking probably get down in bed. You're a little unassuming. So I'm like really intrigued by this whole dynamic, and you're over here blushing and she's like, no, I was not fucking prepared.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the first things I said to Cara when she was like, so what are you into? I was like, I mean, like, you know, like S&M, like I'm a Dom.
What he said
And all that
was
stuff. I was like, so, you know, I was like, I'm going to tie you up.
All right. And she was like, great.
Yeah, this man, when I tell you, has the most, I don't know, people like get it when they meet him. There's like so much, it's a Scorpio, but there's like,
oh,
so
are you
much,
a Scorpio?
Like,
Me too.
Okay.
I'm Scorpio. Scorpio gang, baby.
Yeah.
I get along with I feel like the few people I keep close to my life end up being Scorpios or Tauruses like myself. I'm like,
love that.
Stick with two sides.
Scorpios and Tauruses are pretty badass peeps. So
I mean, I like food is basically my thing. And lazy and eating
food and sex, like we're very simple.
So I mean, but he just exudes. And when I met him, it was just this like such like just sexual energy in a way. Usually, like, you know, guys, and I don't know, like guys can easily turn me off with like their attitude or the way they are, but he had like this mysterious but like sexual energy that I just was like just pulled into. And then whenever we had our first sexy time, I will never forget it. So
which we would have never called it sexy time when we first started dating, but now
now we're in a relationship and we're comfortable and cute. I love it. Okay, so let's dig into it. Because you guys have been open that you're not only very sexual people individually but as a couple, when was it that you guys were like, maybe we should be adding another person into this mix, and who brought it up?
So, I mean, I think we started out that way, like for that summer, like just kind of being, you know, open, because, you know, I didn't really know where her head was at.
I was trying to say I don't want to be in a relationship.
Well, you know, I read between the lines.
Right.
And then we did go through like a little bit of time where we were just like, listen, let's just do this ourselves. You know, and I think once it got to that like comfort level, you know, because that's where it needs to be. I mean, she's been in open relationships before. I've been in open relationships before.
My open relationship that I was in before was bad.
I think people don't understand like how open relationships are like supposed to kind of like be. And it's more of like a communication thing, and it's a respect thing.
Sure.
You know,
with him, so it is very respectful with him. That is the key thing to it, is because I was in past relationships where where it was respectful. We did have we had like an S&M open-y type relationship. And then the past relationship that I was in was, this guy would I would say no, and then he would go bring a girl back home from the bar who wasn't even cute, and then proceed to be like, and then like fuck her in our bed. And I'm like sitting there like I said no, I wasn't about this. Or if I was about it, he would go and have sex with her before I would even get there. And it's like, you not gonna wait for me? Like,
right.
Like, what is, so I mean, everybody's got different, there's so many different taste preferences and what you want in your relationship and what you're comfortable and your boundaries, and you have to be really open with it. And like, he is so completely respectful to my feelings and what I want when I want it. Like, we are very good with being on the same page with each other, which is so important. I've never been disrespected.
It's really important in like things like this. And I mean, I don't know, like, I think where the confusion comes into play, or at least from what I observe, and like, you know, like looking at friends who try and, you know, make it work, and seeing friends of mine where it works and then where it doesn't work, and just the community as a whole, like it's almost like the wild, wild west in a way. So like, from what I see, it's usually like some dude who's like, you know, really, if he was single, like he's not getting anything, you know, like, to put it nicely. Right. But then he lands like this, you know, very attractive girl, and then almost like uses her as like a fishing lure to like, you know, get things in. And, you know, and then it turns into like this weird, like power, you know, dynamic that doesn't really need to exist. When all you really have to do is just kind of communicate, but also like, you need to be confident enough in yourself where it's like, you know, I wouldn't feel, you know, me if I was like, well, I mean, like shit, like this other person isn't even attracted to me because like I'm fat or like I'm fucking not taking care of myself or, you know, like I'm not providing in the bedroom and whatnot. You know what I mean? And like everybody has like, you know, different dynamics. Like there's like people who like to watch, there's people who like to, you know, be involved in it. But it does come down to like that communication and like what the dynamic is. So I think once we shifted into like how we wanted it to be, because we had to be very careful with it, where it's like, you know, we don't want nobody coming in and like, you
getting
know,
all dominant either. Cause that we are, you know,
yeah,
what I mean?
we're
Like
the,
if someone comes
yeah,
in,
we're
like,
the dominant ones.
It ain't like that.
Well, aside from that, but it's like, we don't want somebody blasting stuff out on the internet. Like we just had sex with them or we just did this.
People, I'll come in right here. Like people with regards to that is like, people think the biggest misconception and what's so annoying is people are like, oh my God, you're in an open relationship. Like, oh, so I can fuck you. And it's like, you couldn't fuck me if I was single. Like you couldn't fuck me. Like what makes you think that like, now I'm also going to bring you in and have you with my man? Like, it's the confidence of people.
Yeah.
I am all about feeling confident in power, but like, first of all, know your role, be respectful. And if you're throwing yourself at me and us, we're already like, ugh,
yeah, it's almost like that drunk person at a party. It's like, you're like, oh, like get away. Or like couples that are just kind of like, oh, you guys do this? Oh, hey, we should do this sometime.
And it's like, just because we do this, we don't want to do this with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we also have like our NDAs because like we don't want to, you know, people with the world the way it is, like you have to be so careful. And I'm like super like cautious about, you know, if people are dirty, like if we're bringing someone in, like we're tested. Very careful.
Yeah, they're tested.
Shit's signed, like. Yeah.
And it's like,
okay, wait. So let's like dig into this. So you guys, when you find someone that you're like, we're gonna bring them in, you have them sign an NDA and they get tested previously.
Yes.
Okay, because one of the questions that someone submitted was like, how do you know if people are clean? Which is obviously like, yes, that's something really important to fucking know. So you're not like, let's just like make sure everyone's wrapped and loaded to go. Like you're like, no, we're testing beforehand. So this is never like we meet some hot people at a bar and we're like, hey, you guys should come home with us tonight. This is like a very premeditated thing.
I could not, maybe in my early 20s. When it was like,
in our 20s, way different. I've made it this far. We're like, if we made it this far, we're not taking any chances.
Yeah, like I would not even, the enjoyment I get out of being in a relationship with one man is like, I know where we are. I know where we've been. Like, I know that, you know, we're nice and clean. Like, so even if we thought someone was hot, we could flirt all night. That's fun. Foreplay of the flirt, very fun. But as far as actually doing something, we're like, we should hang later. You know what I mean? Like I want to know when it's go time that like everything's good and that we're all safe, and more than just the STD check, but like the NDA, like I want to know like it's all good. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, my hormones will never overrun me being like, maybe you're dirty. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know what you got. Like,
but that's so good. Has anyone ever like pushed back on the NDA or been like, this is fucking weird?
Yeah, and then we just say, all right, fuck off.
Yeah, right. You're like, and like, goodbye.
I think too many people nowadays, like they're too worried about like offending somebody else. And they care more about like their feelings more than like your own feelings. But like once again, like we have that dynamic where even if somebody kind of comes across as like disrespectful to one of us or both of us, we're like, all right, well, you know, we ain't trying to run into no problems.
And we're like,
you know what I mean?
Highly, highly on alert for being used, since we've been used not sexually, but in, you know, many of the ways, you know, former castmates.
Sure.
There's a reason why 90% of the people are getting cast, and it was off of our backs. I mean, if you really look at all the people that are still getting brought back on the show, it's not our friends. It's the people that came out and said terrible things about us and jumped on the bandwagon. Those are the people that have gotten rewarded. So we're very cautious with who we let into our circle, which how are they going to use us? How are they going to blow something up and exploit us later? How are they going to throw us under the bus so that they can try to climb up higher and get in with all the people that are part of the
and not even from that perspective.
I mean?
It's like it's a known thing that we have wild sex. Like it's not like bland missionary, like no choking, like no ass smacking or hair pulling and any of that stuff.
And we live in a very sensitive world, so
it's known that we're fucking wild. So like the last thing we need is like somebody has an experience, they have a fucking blast of a night, and then next thing you know, they show up somewhere and it's like, oh my God, like they tied me up. They fucking
right.
I've got this mark here. Like it's like we are just like
privacy. No. Yeah, no, I totally get that. And especially when you're in the public eye, it's like protecting yourself and protecting your peace. I totally get that.
Without a doubt. And like, you know, there's been times like we've been at sex parties where we're just there, like just looking, like browsing. You know what I mean? Like we don't freaking do that,
and then you go home. Sometimes you just go home with each other, and
sometimes it's an atmosphere thing, right? Like, you know, you go to the strip clubs, you see if you could convince a stripper, and then you leave the stripper at the strip club. You go to a sex party, see if you can convince somebody to come, you leave them at the sex party.
Or you can look, but you can't touch. You know what I mean?
Okay, wait. I have to ask because I've never known anyone that's actually gone to a sex party. I've only seen them on TV and heard about them. So is this like in the TV shows and in the movies where like people go, they like put their fucking watches in a bowl and shit, and they're like, okay, we're gonna like decide who we're gonna be with tonight, and there's like 6 people fucking over here and like 2 people swapping over here? Like, what is it like?
So that's more like that old like key party like thing where it's like luck of the draw, like, oh, looks like
right.
Sex parties nowadays, like they could be anything, right? So it's like you kind of know the deal before you go. Most of them are just kind of like group sex, you know, rooms for specific things. You know, like there could be like a room where, you know, somebody's just in there and you don't even see like who they are, right? But there's just like, you could, they have holes open.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, once again, like it's really anything that you want, like, and it's, you know, a fluid experience. So it's you'll see like guys hooking up with guys, girls hooking up with girls.
You can go and wear masks too,
stuff
is kind of a thing that like I like to do.
Yeah.
Right. So you can kind of like keep your anonymity
in these things, you know, like a lot of these guys like also are like, you know, they're cucks in a way where it's like in order to get turned on to fuck their girl, like they have to see their girl getting fucked by somebody else.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, but like it's a respect thing, you know what I mean? Like we've never really actually ran into anything where like once we're like, hey, don't touch us.
Yeah.
Right.
We continue to get touched.
I mean, they wouldn't,
you know what I mean?
They wouldn't dare.
Yeah, no, they usually don't. I don't know if we give off that aura like when we walk in. But you know, like it's fun, you know, just to be in like that atmosphere, because it's not all like, oh, we're at a bar, oh, we're at a club. Oh,
and it's not like if people think we're doing this every night or every weekend, it's like when we want to, when we're in the mood, when, you know, if a good party comes up, because it's very selective with, you got to be careful with what party you go to, because there's, you know, you want to find people that are, I want like attractive, fit people, you know what I mean? And unfortunately in this, they're a little harder to find, you know, with open relationships. It's like if you go to a nude beach, it's not Victoria's Secret models, you know what I mean? So you got to go to the right spot where there's more people, your age group or whatever.
Right.
This level, you know.
And it's not to knock people in that sense. It's just we have a preference. It's not like anybody.
We have a preference.
We have a preference.
It's like I'm not knocking bananas because I'm eating apples. Like I just want apples. No, a basket of bananas. I'm not hungry.
No, I totally get that. It's like you're attracted to what you're attracted to. So, okay, so you guys have the communication open. You decide that like sometimes you're gonna bring is it other couples, other singles? Is it men? Is it women? Like what are the ground rules for like these are who we're gonna bring in?
So we usually kind of leave that up as you know, as a mystery. Nobody really kind of knows like exactly who we're bringing in and what we're bringing in. It does vary whether it's like a girl or whether it's a guy or whether it's a couple. So we have stipulations for each thing.
As far as the involvement.
So and the involvement, it's a funny thing, right? Because like most people are like, fuck yeah, I'm down, until they look at the NDA and they're just like, maybe I'm not fucking down. You know what I mean?
Wait. So is the NDA, is it like, I get that it's like, don't fucking talk about whatever happens here, but is this like Christian Grey status of like, this is what I'm okay with and like I'm signing my pain rights away type thing?
Basically,
I mean,
like
you
you're almost
to.
like signing your
Full
life away.
Consent, but I mean,
in,
it's like,
in a thing.
well, what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. The standard consent.
Right.
But
safe word.
But when it
for sure, but like we're different.
Oh my God, I'm so intrigued and like there's so many thoughts going on.
And that's the thing is we like, even though we're open to speak about some of it, a lot of it we do love to keep a mystery because if we just told you everything or came out with everything,
well then somebody could like just create a checklist and be like, oh, if I ever see them somewhere, I'm just gonna fucking mention these things off a list.
Right.
I like a little bit of that mystery there in regards to certain aspects. Like, so
absolutely.
People know, but they don't know everything.
They don't know. Listen, there's tons of people, they talk a big game and then they get the NDA and they're like, I'm intimidated. I'm out.
Yeah, they're like, absolutely fucking not. Okay, so has either of you ever gotten jealous? Because I know that when people hear I'm in a relationship and we're bringing someone else in, the first question that always comes up is like, how the fuck do you not get jealous watching your partner with someone else?
I will take this. This is why.
I will take this.
Well, because like I said, the very beginning, like 4 or 5 years ago, when we first got together and I was in another mindset. And I was like, I'm single. I'm not like, and there was that whole like, well, then he's like, well, if you're single, then, I'm finishing or whatever here. And it's like, when we finally got on the same page, he could just take a 2-week-long vacation to Miami. And I don't have a thought in my head to worry about him. We're very, very, very like trusting of each other, very comfortable in our relationship. And that's the first thing. Like if you just start dating someone and you have jealousy issues or you have insecurity issues, it's not a good thing for you. You shouldn't do it. Like we are so unbelievably.
It's a personal growth thing.
We've been through so much. We're so connected. Never in a million years will I be jealous because this man every single day, this also comes to this. Every single day, he makes me feel like a queen. I'm sitting here. I come back from the gym in my frumpy clothes, my hair. I look like doo-doo. And I hear him in the corner. He's like, "You're so beautiful." And I'm like, "What? You're out of your tits. Like what?" And he's like, "Yeah, your butt looks so good right now." And I'm like, "What?" Like,
hold on. I said your hair and your skin first, and then went to the butt.
He's
like,
"Your hair looks healthy. Your skin's glowing." I'm like, "What?" Like this man, and it's not even like it's a surprise, but in that moment I felt like I wasn't trying to be sexy, like
right.
Every single day, we don't like if he's ever in his little underwears in front of me, if he's naked and getting in the shower, we never stop organically, just out of like I see it, I say it about how much we find each other attractive, how much we love each other constantly, just because it's how we're feeling and it just comes out. So I know that even when we go do these events and I'm shooting beautiful models, big, every type of body modification, you know what I mean? And I'm little, whatever it is, but like, there is no eyes on anybody but me. Like I am his queen and that's how he treats me when we're doing what we do.
We're around a lot of beautiful girls all the time, like with the nature of our business and whatnot, but we keep it very professional in that capacity. But also I think it comes down to like an emotional connection. And I think if jealousy is coming, there's a reason for it. So like, if there is jealousy, then that's something that has to be dove into, right? Like, hey, I'm feeling this way internally. I don't know whether that is coming just from something that I need to unpack from my past, or if that's something stemming from you, or if that's something stemming from wherever, right? Yeah. So those conversations need to be had before you can even go in this capacity. And also the trust has to be there in the sense of like, we're here, like we're not going anywhere. Like we could do whatever we want to do. There's not a emotional connection with anybody else. It's a transactional connection in a way. So it's like our emotional connection is there. And that's it. So it's like, there's not a jealousy thing because it's like, even if somebody's involved, they're never feeling as though they're like above any of us, right? So like her and I,
you know your role.
Yeah, and like even with her and I, it's not like a me, her, me. It's like we're here, and then it's like everybody else. So I think that like helps with like the, keeping like jealousies at bay and just open communication. Like if something happened, and it rubs one of us the wrong way, instead of just sitting on it and letting it fester, and then another thing happens,
or yelling and attack. We're just like, hey,
we're just like, hey, let's not do this next time.
Yeah.
It's a very open level of communication.
Because at the end of the day,
communication is key.
It's so communication. Because like I said, my last relationship that wasn't respectful, there was no regard, there was no respect at all for it. It was just, he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants, and however it makes me feel, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was bad. So like the communication here it's everything. It's like, what if I'm like feeling frumpy or gross and I'm just not that into it? Neither one of us, you know what I mean? We're always on the same page. I always feel like a queen. We both always feel loved. We both always are. It's what we do can be so wrong for so many relationships that think they want to do it. You so have to be confident and secure with who you are as a person, who you are in the bedroom. You have to be so confident and secure with yourself. Otherwise, I would not recommend doing anything like that, because you can ruin a lot of relationships, a lot of people, a lot of feelings, a lot of deep things can happen that can mess you up.
Don't get into this type of relationship like if you haven't fulfilled yourself like prior. So it's like, we said it earlier, like, we got our kicks out in our 20s, you know what I mean? Like I have experienced all the things that I would want to experience, like when I was a Division I athlete, a professional athlete, living in Manhattan, going through college, moving to LA, doing these shows and whatnot. Like we are at a point where it's like, we've already seen everything basically. So it's like, what is there, left to kind of desire, right? A lot of these people that'll just be like, maybe an open relationship will fix it. Right. It's usually coming from one and not the other. And then it becomes a selfish thing, right? Like one person loves it over the other. Whereas like, we can shut it off at any point in time and be like, you know what, like, we're just going to fucking chill for a second. Like, let's just, like, for instance, like right now, like we're focusing on work so much. Like we're building so much. I mean,
we're around titties all the time.
Yeah, we're around titties all the time, and like we're just like, there's not even an urge to do anything. A, because it's not professional, and B, because we're just in work mode. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they lose themselves in this, or they get an emotional like connection. With somebody, which just like, you have to know going into it that like, this is my person, no matter what happens, this is where we're coming back to. And it's not a free for all, like fuck fest. You know what I mean? Like I would never put her in a position where somebody feels as though, they have more access to me than her, and vice versa. She would never put me in a situation where somebody feels as though they have more access to her. I guess there would never be a Jada and Will Smith situation. You know what I mean? Like we ain't going to be sitting there being like, I just haven't felt anything, so I did this. And it's like, that's not an open relationship. Like you fucking did that and you fucking hurt this man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but it got confused, right? There was probably a lack of communication. He probably didn't express how he was feeling at all. And I'm sure they had that, because I had heard about Will and Jada like years ago, like having like this whole thing where like for one night, they just go do whatever they want. They don't ask questions. They come back to each other. I'm sure it was great, but more recently it comes to a communication thing. So like if at any point she says stop, I say stop, it's just like, whatever.
And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think
your nails look strong.
They're
anyway,
wait a minute. Thank you. They are. So it's the collagen. The collagen. I am not proud to admit this, and I've said this before. I have basically cheated on every relationship I've ever been in, ever. And it was always my trying to get when I'm on my way out, because at no time would I cheat and then think, oh yeah, let me try to fix this. It's never if I try to fix it, it's me sitting there out of guilt, still not wanting to be there. So, this is the first person I have ever been with that there is not a thought in my head about looking at someone else. Like this is my person and I want to be with him forever. And I've never felt that way about anybody. And for us to have gone through everything we've gone through, still feel that now. It's like, this is my person, this is who I'm holding on to forever. And like, it just, no matter what we do and, how our sex life is with everything, like I know at the end of the day that we're going to be together. And I'm confident because he feels the same way about me. And that is so huge for living this type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, absolutely. So you touched on not having the emotional connection with whoever gets brought in. Do you guys ever keep in touch with people after, or is it kind of like a one and done situation? Like, has there ever been any problems with you wanting to like revisit with someone?
No, it's transactional.
It's
okay. Like it's very transactional. Like I don't know how to put this.
I'll be honest. I prefer the one and done because it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting when it's a one. But then when a person becomes a friend or becomes a certain, or you're whatever, it's just, I don't want to go back. Yeah. It's just,
and there's that like trust thing of like, people that have already gone through the process of like, like, would it be easier just to kind of like pick, and like they already know the process. They'll, re-get tested, and all that stuff. Like we've recently been like tossing around the idea. We've recently been talking about the idea of like having like a person per month.
Right, like a rotation?
Yeah, well, like not even a rotation, like just like, we just get like a bunch of people that are interested and just kind of be like, all right, you're going to be January, you're going to be February, you're going to be March, all the way throughout the year. And it's like, what are you getting out of this? Well, we have a beautiful home. You ain't going to have to worry about like getting fed and all that stuff. And, you get some good sex.
And then you're gone.
And then you're gone.
Wait, you're saying for like a full month, like come live with us in January and like just chill and be our like sex buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad fucking transactional deal.
I'll be honest. I think a month is too long because I think in a month I'd already be like tooting on the couch with them. Like I can't, like if I want to keep it sexy, like I think a week
dude.
Max.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe like a week or two.
Because
I don't know if
somebody
we can hold
stays with you for a month. The sexy ain't gonna stay. They're gonna see me like in the morning, like at least I can like fake it for a week. You know what I mean?
Right. Actually,
I'll come down sexy in my sexy outfits, but you give me a month, it ain't gonna be good.
It was pretty hard when we were in Miami for like those 5 days, not letting anything rip. Because there's so many people around. Oh my
God.
But yeah, you're right. Maybe that.
It's not going to be sexy after a week,
Yeah. It's not really one of those things where like somebody's like, oh, I still want to do this. It's like,
yeah.
Like there's 4 billion people in the world. Like, am I really going to get hung up with over one person?
And when you do that, then like, if you do keep going back to the same person, it's like, it's familiar, but then it's tricky. Then what if feelings start happening? Like we don't, I like a one goodbye.
And we also don't like people knowing that much about us.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So it's like the more that somebody's around us, like they'll hear business calls, they'll hear calls with the family. They'll hear like things that we're planning and things that we're doing. And we're
like the mystery.
But we're also very protective of our energy. Like we're very big believers in like manifestation and like putting action towards your visions. And there's so many things out there about like, if you have somebody in your sphere of energy that doesn't want those same good things to happen for you, then they're going to, pull you away, like kind of not allow those things to come to fruition when they need to. So that's why the transactional thing is much easier, because you're not even here long enough to even know like what we're planning to be able to be like, well, I hope that doesn't fucking happen for them.
Right. And it makes it less intimate, then like you guys keep the intimate relationship and the rest is like more purely physical. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When there's people in there, I don't even look them in the eye. I look at her. You know what I mean? That's how closed off to like, even feeling a connection, like there is. It's like you're a body.
Right.
in that
Have
sense.
have either of you ever had something happen where you saw the other person do something and you were like, well, they've never done that with me, and it like brought up some weird insecurity or jealousy?
No, I think we
Honestly-
got all that shit out pretty early in our
Yeah.
relationship.
And honestly, it's like for me, I'm not gonna lie, he's a lot.
Oh, so you're like, please take some of the load.
Yes. I'm like, tag, you're it. Like,
Oh my God, dude, I'm dead.
like I'll be when we're
Paulie's
having
just like beat red right now.
Wait, no,
I'm fucking
I-
dying right now.
here, this is the bed, and we start here, and I end up here, like
She tries to like crawl
I'm
herself
just-
away.
So, and
I
it's
was
like,
like,
if we don't have somebody
Where are you
around,
going? Get
I'm
back
like,
here.
Paulie, like I can't, like I need somebody to tag out, like.
Actually, now that you bring that up, I think that's how it actually started for us. I think like one night, she was just like, you know, it'd really be great to like tag somebody in, and I was like, we could go back to that.
Oh my God, I'm dying right now.
It's sometimes
Okay.
it's helpful. My jaw gets tired. I mean, he's
Jesus
a lot.
Welcome to
And I
FML
love
Talk.
him. I just sometimes, and it's a turn on to sit back and be like, you fucking do this, bitch. Like, you go. Like,
I hear you. I can like see the different, like, I know a lot of people are always talking about being interested in what you guys do. It's just that level of like, can you maintain that connection without having jealousy? And that's like a human emotion that so many people like.
he's also, and the thing is too that I have to say is like like it's cliche, but he's my best friend. Like we have so much fun together that like sometimes
I didn't know where you were going with that.
no, even when we're alone, like we're at the point like it's not always like this is serious, crazy, dirty sex. I mean, absolutely, but not always. Like sometimes I am such
She'd
a
be like, I
nerd.
want to make out.
No, not even that.
Aw.
Yes,
It's cute.
but just me trying to get sexy sometimes is just like I can't. Like we laugh so
Oh
much.
my God, it's too funny.
So
No, my
we can
my
get-
boyfriend and I are the same way.
So like
well, she'll put on a fire outfit, sexy as hell.
and I'll be like,
But instead of just kind of like, you know, like opening the door and like doing what she like
I
did in the
can't.
beginning, she like slowly opens the door and just like pops her head out. And then like does this like little dance where she's like,
Oh my
I'm just
God.
like, what
and
is happening
sometimes
right
we're
now?
laughing. He just looks at me and he's just like,
I start
is-
laughing. I
that's,
can't, it's at a point where like, I even laugh at myself. Like if I'm, you know,
that's
it's like, oh,
why.
you're a fucking dirty little bitch tonight, aren't you? And then I
Oh.
just start laughing and I'm like, fuck.
Oh
That's
my
why
God.
when we do have, you know, our openness as we do, that's when we can
It
really
almost like brings us back
it
to
brings
that
us
like
back
moment
to the
because we're so goofy now.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
right.
like,
Because now it's, I mean, yes, we do have our crazy, dirty, sexy nights just together, but we just laugh so much now. It's like we have fun.
And once again, it goes back to I think like that one Kevin Hart stand-up that he did where he like goes off and he's like, you know, my wife always looking for, you know, some good dick. And I had to have a conversation with her being like, you know, listen, you can't have this life that I'm bringing here and get good dick. He goes, so we'll pick one night of the week. You know, so it's like we work so damn hard, like we're tired and we're just kind of like, fuck, let's just get it in real quick and then go to bed. And like we're like
a
we've
normal,
actually
like a
scheduled it
normal
like
couple.
midday
Yeah.
now, so we could actually
We
have,
schedule it.
you know, the time allotted to it.
I have to
But
do it.
shit,
Like I have to do it at a certain time, like every day. Because if I don't, nighttime, I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to watch my shows.
And, like, I remember in the
wanna, like,
Wait,
beginning-
wait. I'm sorry. You have sex every day? Is that what I just got from that?
It's part of it's. We go to the
It's-
gym.
it's
we,
our routine.
We eat our lunch. We read our book. We shower. We sex, and we continue
now
work.
mind you, for the first year of us dating, we would try and break
Yeah.
records every day of like
Not every day. My vagina.
every
be
weekend,
broken,
every
Jesus.
weekend. So every Saturday we would have like try to break the record of like how many times we could fuck in a day. So we'd be
Oh
like,
my
we're
God.
ordering all the best foods and we're just laying in bed all day, watching movies, fuck, eat, fuck, eat, fuck, eat, fuck,
Nap.
eat, fuck, nap, fuck, and like all that stuff. And,
Okay, solid Saturday.
This is why I'm tagging people out. Do you get it now, Scorpio?
I understand completely now. Okay, so you guys mentioned, you know, some of like the 50 Shades of Grey style. Can you give us a little insight into like one or two of your favorite toys or like
first
things.
Hotel room experience that you had with me, or the second hotel room experience.
Oh my God, I love this. I could have you guys talk all day.
Yeah,
This is so fucking interesting.
I mean, listen, we have all the toys, like all of them. So anything you can imagine in terms of like ropes, spiked gloves, any type of thing that could be inserted in her.
Paulie.
Handcuff. What? I was just saying, sharp objects, gags. We have.
What am I, an oven? Like, what are you?
I'm dead. Cara, you kill me.
Respect.
I was more shocked by the spiked glove, but okay.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll just blow right past that like it's normal.
We could put in her.
Here we go. Hey, we got this right here. You want to try it out? Jesus. Why did you go with this?
Oh my God. Like the biggest gallon water jug I've ever seen.
That'd be impressive. That's some weird. That'd be a weird looking penis.
We don't go. We're good. Like, hey, he's
so
too big for me. We're good.
Yeah, so we're good on that. Like we
ain't pulling out the fucking. Anyway.
Yeah. So I told her when we first started dating, I was like, listen, like, yeah, I'm into these things. I said, but I'm also like trained in like a lot of different martial arts. I said, so like I am also very good with like weapons. I said, so like because you have to study those things, you have to be able to train with those things with like your dojo of like, if you're sparring with somebody with a knife, for instance, you can't actually impale somebody with a fucking knife. And then finally they invented the rubber knives.
Yeah, don't
which
trust
is fucking
me
great.
with knives.
Don't trust Cara with knives. But, so like there's never a situation where it's like she's going to get choked out or her esophagus is going to get crushed by accident.
I've had guys that didn't know what they were doing, try to know what they were doing, and it's not good. So people don't understand. It takes
less pressure to crush an esophagus than it does empty can of Coke. And
that's terrifying.
Yeah, unless you've taken classes that like go over that. But also like with sharp objects, like you can't just take a sharp object and fucking press it because you're going to slice something, whatever. So I said that to her and she was like, oh, I mean, like, I'd be down to like, see like what you could, do. And like, she like called, like if we were in a hotel room, she was like, is there anything sharp enough in here? And I like,
no, I didn't. You're making, no.
What happened? Did I do it?
Yes. We were in the middle of sections. I was almost about to.
No, but we had that conversation before. I didn't just do this out of nowhere. Like there was a reason why I did it.
But I was just about to go through the moon, and then he goes, wait a minute. And like, he just got up and went to the bathroom. So this is how, it wasn't like we were discussing it and then you did this. It just like in the middle of like, we were great. And then he just gets up and I'm like, okay, maybe you had to pee. Like I hear a smash in the bathroom and I'm like, what the hell? Did he drop something? Whatever. And then I'm just laying there and he comes out with a cut glass and I know, and then proceeds to hold it to my neck till we finished. So
she finished instantly as soon as I said, don't move, and put it to her neck.
I mean, when he, okay, so
wait, I'm like not breathing right now, you guys.
It's not even about what he does. It's when he asserts himself and speaks to me in a certain kind of way, I'm just like, yes, sir. Like, whatever. Like, that is the only time I will like, whatever you want. Like, I want to do it for you.
But now the other thing is it starts and ends in the bedroom. That's my big thing. That's always been my big thing in any relationship I've been in, that, likes this type of shit. I say, listen, like in the bedroom, as soon as it's done, like, that's it. Like, don't be submissive in any other part of like life.
He wants me to be his equal, his queen. Like he always, we're partners. There is no disrespect. There is, in the bedroom, we like certain things. We like, but I mean, it's
certain things.
Well, I think that's really important that's like a very huge boundary to have and to maintain for the respect level and the communication. I think that's really smart for anyone that's trying to get into any type of S&M stuff.
Or even if you like, I even say this to people who like are just like monogamous and just want to, like just enjoy sex, like where it's like some ass smacking and, and shit like that. I'm like, listen, like you can be as dominant as you want in the bedroom, leave that shit in the bedroom, because nobody likes that like fucking power grab shit in public. Like if I ever saw like a couple try and do some dom and sub shit like in front of me, like because that's just their kink, I'd be like, don't fucking do that in front of me. You know what I mean?
No, that's why we date narcissists. That's where that's reserved for that half of the world.
Hopefully we get out of that when we're in our 20s.
I mean,
yes.
We've also had the girls like that you're just like, nah, when they're like, oh, I'll be, I'll show you. Like, you know what I mean? Those type of girls that like think they can be done.
Oh, wait, like girls come in and try and like dom you.
I mean, we weed those
did I say that right?
Yeah.
I sound ridiculous
we
right
usually
now.
weed them out beforehand.
But if they start it
if they start it like that, like, first Carl, like, put them in check.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was in a bedroom with Cara Maria and she was like, bitch, sit down, I'd be like, where? Yes,
and,
sorry.
And honestly, that's usually where it ends. Like Cara will be like, shut the fuck up and sit down. And they'll be like, yes, ma'am.
Right. I love it. Have you guys ever had to use a safe word with each other?
Have
I?
I don't think so.
I could swear I did.
I don't think you
did. I think I did. But I don't even know what our safe word is anymore. That's how long it's been.
That's how long it's been. What was it? It was 32. 32 was the safe word.
It was 32.
It was 32.
Yeah.
It was 32.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask.
I think I did it. I think
we met on season 32.
I think I said
Oh my God, it was challenge related too. That's ridiculous. I love it. Oh my God, that's great.
I said it once. I don't remember in what incidents, but I had to have.
I don't think so. Oh, yeah. It was the first time she was getting tied up because she hadn't really been like tied up in like the way that I tied her up.
Like an army proper tie up.
Yeah.
He's really good with like ropes and knots and all that kind of stuff. And like
we know that from the challenge.
I am not. I have to like really be in the mood to be tied up because I don't like being like if somebody like just grabs my arm like the tightness like I just I'll only be distracted by that and I'll start panicking like I don't get blood like the blood pressure and shit like I'm a psycho with that.
Yeah.
So I don't love being tied up.
But once again, anybody who wants to tie people up, you better study knots because you need to be able to release that shit immediately. If they panic. Because if somebody starts to panic, it can go from like a safe situation to a holy shit, they moved in a way that now they're fucking choking.
And now it's too tight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that can be very traumatic. So it's like educational before getting into the sex stuff.
You need to know like everything. Like don't tell the person you're tying up how easy it is to like just fucking pull the string and untie the knot. Right. But you should know how easy it is to pull the string and untie the knot. And you should also have knowledge of like body anatomy as to where like the major arteries are and like the neck and like how long people could be in certain positions before blood starts getting cut off in certain areas.
It's like, I mean, honestly, not to throw it to CrossFit, but it's like people don't just start going in and snatching like 150 pounds. You know what I mean? Like you really should know.
Yeah, this isn't like one of those things where you just are kind of like, I guess I'll try.
I guess I'll just start tying my girlfriend up and just like, and I'll see what happens. It's like that you really should. I think that's another reason like why there's so much trust because I know that he would never do anything. He knows how to not hurt me. And the other thing too, I'm lucky enough, like a lot of people involved in this world, heavy in drugs, heavy in alcohol, you know what I mean? So that you can put yourself in a position to be more comfortable to do something that you're really not totally comfortable with or not confident enough with. He does nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
I don't drink or do drugs.
Once in a blue moon, he'll have a glass of wine with me at a meal. But I mean, you know, me coming from a past relationship where the guy essentially almost forced me to drink to be like, oh, you like me more when you drink, or he would sit there and drink and get hammered to punish me, like for whatever. Like it was such a fucked up bad relationship. Anyways, so abusive. Now I'm with someone who he always wants to be in his right frame of mind. Like even if he's at a club or a party where everybody's getting drunk. Like he's like, I have to be alert at all times. If anybody ever tried to hurt you, if anything ever went wrong, I can't be drunk. I have to know what's going on. I have to see things going on. He is just like eyes in the back of his head. So yeah. I feel that is another huge thing that probably not a lot of people talk about, why I feel so safe and so confident and so comfortable in this type of relationship, because I am safe with him. You know, whereas like you could be, you know, these other open relationships, if the guy's hammered, you're on drugs, like you don't know what the hell is going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
So having your mind about you is huge.
It's so crazy because I like got on this Zoom with you guys and was like, great, we're going to talk about sex. And the way that you approach it and the mentality behind it is so intentional and thoughtful and well thought out. It's been really insightful and educational and interesting. So thank you for being open and honest and vulnerable during this whole sex spiel. Now is the time where I would say, do you want to drop your social medias? But I'll let you guys decide if you want to do that, so people aren't sliding into your DMs trying to proposition you for being their third.
Well, honestly, anytime we do something like this, on my end, at least, I don't know about hers. Like on my end, I get messages from like couples, like thanking us.
Yeah.
Being like, thank you guys. Like this was really helpful. And me and my partner listened to this, and it completely shifted the way, you know, we look at things and the way that we approach things. But, you know, I'm not going to name drop where I kind of like learned the right way to do it. You know, but it was a very close person to me, like a personal mentor, a very big name. And like watching, you know, that person and their partner mentor so many couples, you know, I really got a good idea for what was right and what was wrong. And I already kind of had an idea, because it's like, I don't know, I was like a passionate lover my entire life. Like I was a romance, like everything. Like
that's why when he gives me the real, I will immediately.
Yeah,
done.
I was all about
he gives me the slow stroke, done. Like right away. Says one thing into my ear, slow stroke, done.
Yeah, I was all into like passionate lovemaking and, you know, connection and like all of that stuff. And then kind of got like thrust into the world when I moved into New York.
Thrust.
And
Cara.
Never miss a good pun. Yeah, and getting thrust into that world, I was just kind of like, all right, like this is awesome because I'm in my fucking 20s and that's fucking cool. You know, and then as I like aged in my 20s, I was very fortunate to like hit that, because I was sitting there being like, why are my open relationships not working? Like I'm not getting jealous. They're allowed to have sex with whoever they want, like, you know, whether I'm there or not. Why are they getting jealous of like me doing my thing? And like, why are they questioning me when I don't question them on anything? Like if they say, hey, I'm having a night out, I'm like, all right, have fun, you know, see you later. Or like, hey, you know, talk to you the next morning. But then vice versa, I wasn't getting that same respect. And then, you know, the relationships would always end. And I would be like, man, that seemed like it was a good thing, you know. But then after having this, you know, long talk with this person, I became like, all right, well, I'm only going to have this if it's with the right person. Otherwise, you know, like I can switch it on and off. Like I'm not like this fucking crazy sex fiend that's just like, no, it has to be this and we're going to fuck everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, I can be in a relationship where it's like, all right, like, you know,
we'll go through some periods of it, some periods without. Like we can go months without doing anything, and then we want to. Like it just depends. Whatever.
It really does.
Yeah.
If we're not tied up with work, if we're whatever
I mean,
we're focused on.
A solid like
we're in the
2
mood
years of just us.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
After like the whole freaking, you know, beginning debacle, like we were just like less of a hassle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I honestly like this. It's so imperative that because clearly I've had open relationships, didn't work. Now he's had ones that didn't work, and we've found each other, and we're on the right wavelength with respect and everything else that like, and confidence that we're both. Yeah, it works for us. But
so, go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't DM me and be like, "Oh, can I fuck you now?" It's
what do you think
no,
about me?
No.
Can I submit my application? No, you cannot.
Ask, the answer is no.
Yeah, no.
So we'll put that there.
Okay, so to wrap everything up, what do you think is, to each of you, the one thing that this decision that you guys have made as a couple has brought and elevated your relationship and in your life?
I think I'm the type of person that, and I believe a lot of people are like this, if you tell them not to do something or you tie them down, like that was the thought of me with marriage. I'm like, I never want to get married because then it's like, oh my God, like then you're stuck. You know what I mean? That's it. Even no matter how much you love somebody, people have used this example in the past. You can go to your favorite restaurant. If you go to your favorite restaurant every day, it's still always going to be your favorite restaurant, but maybe you want to go to a different one now and then. Do you know what I mean?
You ain't going to eat Taco Bell every day?
I'm going to get sick of Taco Bell, babe. But I'll never get sick of you. But I think it's because we allow each other to feel free. And it's like the choices I know, because I'm not telling him, you can't be with anybody else. You can't do this. You can't do that. Because I don't tell him that, because he doesn't tell me that, and because we're open and honest about what we do want and what we will do. He feels, I know that he's choosing me because he's choosing me. I'm choosing him, and he knows this because I want to be with him, not because he's telling me I can't do anything else. So right. I think the biggest thing it's brought to me is I've been in relationships where the people I was with were so jealous and so insecure and caused so many problems. And it just was a bad back and forth, and it was purely just toxic. And now I'm with someone who's so incredibly confident, that BD energy, when he walks into a room, and I know that that I'm who he wants to be with at the end of the day. And he knows that he is the one that I want to be with forever. So it's just like, yeah. It's give me the freedom to choose you and I'll choose you. Whereas, like I said, if girls are coming to my DMs and being like, okay, so I can fuck you now, right? Because you're in an open relationship, or let's fuck. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's elevated just like so many things, spiritually.
Yeah.
On a business sense, on a fitness and nutritional sense, everything, and I've always been into like the fitness and everything like that, but it goes back to, that situation where it's like, I want to make sure that when standing next to her, because she's obviously stunningly gorgeous, right? And like rocking body and all this shit. Like when I'm standing next to her, I also want to be sexy. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want my, like my endorphins through the roof. So on a fitness and nutritional level, like as we get older, it's very easy to, and when you have disposable income, it's very easy for you to just kind of be like, I'm just going to indulge in whatever the fuck I want. Right.
Oh God,
and then you let yourself go. Yeah. We do love a Dairy Queen every now and then, but I'm not going to get it to a point where I got a tire around my waist, and I'm getting thick underneath my chin, and all that stuff, because I'm like, I want to look good. I want her to be attracted to me, on a daily basis. And I want her to know that she's with a desirable human. And vice versa. And then on like the business front of things, like there's literally no nitpicking about other bullshit. It's like, hey, the job needs to get done. We get the job done. We're in the business that we're in, whether it's fitness or whether it's the talent agency or the photography, there's no room for insecurity. So this is just kind of like put it at a level where it's like, we don't have to worry about shit. Like we're not worrying about the same shit that other people are worrying about, where it's like, oh man, they haven't texted me in X amount of time, and they're with somebody else.
Right.
And I do appreciate when you brought up the fitness thing. Speaking of abusive exes, my ex would literally, he would make me feel like shit and get mad at me for my love of CrossFit. So it's like he didn't take care of his body in any type of way. Like when we got in fights, he made himself look worse by tattooing himself more, or shaving his head, and then going and drinking. Like it was so unhealthy and so toxic. So I have a man that works out with me every day, comes to the CrossFit gym with me, but also does his own thing, which is like, he's got so many, like the boxing or whatever else he does. We walk, like it's so fucking fulfilling, just side note, to have somebody who cares about the way he looks, doesn't make himself look gross to punish me, And like, I'm
That's
I'm
just wild to
happy
me.
and I'm like turned on by you when I see you naked, like always.
You want to be attracted to the person. Whenever she's naked, I'm like, let's go.
I can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interchangeable. Like, you guys have that love for fitness and, you know, keeping yourselves healthy, and it's the same as like other people connecting over different things. Like, you want your person to share that passion with you, and I think that's beautiful. You guys, this has been so fucking interesting. I cannot thank you enough for coming on and sharing all of these details with us. I know it's like not necessarily something you want to publicize. So many people are going to get so much out of this episode. So truly, thank you for coming on FML Talk today.
No,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Keep being awesome.
I was a fan.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Read your whole journey. I remember being like, Paulie, you'll never guess what happened now. Like, as I'm reading your book, like I was so you got me reading again. It had been so long since I like dove into something so hard like that, and your book just like set me off, and I haven't stopped reading since.
And what's funny for me is the light bulb went off in my head when I was listening to your podcast with Morgan. When I was like, oh, FML. Oh my God. I was like, you fucking kidding me? I was like,
all roads lead back to FML.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
On book club, and I was like, it's a good book.
Oh, thanks, guys. If you are ever in LA or we are ever where you are, please let us know so we can go out and grab a drink and not be having sex. Just to be everybody.
You're like, oh, open relationship. You guys are probably gonna have sex on the taco table, like
100%, 100%. All right, thank you guys so much. I have so much love for you. I appreciate you.
And if you do want the social media, I'm going to be spending a lot more time on my TikTok, which is Miss Cara Maria, and my photography Instagram, which is at Cara Maria Photography. And we the 10 management.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Calafiore _ and then we have the 10 productions and the 10 management on that page.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. And we will link all of that in the show notes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I want to thank Cara and Paulie for coming on FML Talk and really just like going there with me. I felt like it was such an interesting adventure to kind of hear about their lifestyle and how they do things. And I started out this episode being like, this is fucking crazy. And I don't know how people would ever do this in a healthy, normal way. And after talking to them, I must say, I don't think it's for me, but like I kind of get it. I see how they've been able to do it in a very respectful and communicative way that supports their relationship. And I think that's really fucking cool. I'm sure you guys are going to have loads of questions after this episode, so I cannot wait to see what my DMs are going to be looking like. And I cannot wait to see how their relationship progresses in the future. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed so you never miss an episode. Keep up with us on Instagram at FML Talk Podcast. If you need more FML Talk in your life, you can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/FML Talk for full seasons of mini bonus episodes. You also get 10% off all of your merch and access to the private self-love Facebook group. I will see you all next week, and stay safe out there in your sexual relationships. Cheers.